Hey, how's it going? Drossi here. In this video, we're going to be talking about Torghast and how to succeed in it as a priest. So, I've been doing a lot of Torghast. I've basically done all the highest layers as they've come out. I've done all of Twisting Corridors. You can see my Corridor Creeper here. And basically at this point, I feel like I know the ins and outs of Torghast and what it takes to, just blast through it really easy. And hopefully at the end of this video, you will be able to as well. So to start off, the absolute most important thing, which I think a lot of people don't know, is actually what spec we're going to play. So you can see I'm in Shadow here, but what we're actually going to do is we're going to be switching to Discipline. And you may be thinking, oh, it's like you're a healer, right? How are you going to clear Torghast? But how it works is that when you enter Torghast, if you play as a healer spec like Discipline or Holy, they drastically lower the HP of the enemies. Like even in layer 8 on the first floor, the enemies have like something like 5,000 HP, and you just like one shot them with the mind games or something. You see here, mind games does like 7,000 damage. It makes it way faster. Like they made it a lot easier in my opinion for healers, and we're gonna be taking advantage of that. Holy is also okay, but Discipline just kind of has a bit more options to do damage with, which is all we really care about, right? Like we're not even going to be casting most of our healing spells and stuff just to survive. If you don't know how to play Discipline, that's totally fine. Honestly, it's for Torghast, you don't need to know like 90% of the skills, because you're not going to be actually healing. You're going to actually be doing damage, and the only damage skill is like Penance, Mind Blast, and most of the time you're just spamming Smite and Mind Seer. I'm going to go over that when we actually take a run and Torghast and see how it goes later. So we know we're playing Disc. In terms of something like legendaries, Soulbinds, Covenants, Talents, I'm going to tell you right now that honestly it's not that important. Like it makes a difference, of course, right? Like which talents you choose and which, if you're Venti or if you're Kyrian or something, it makes a difference, but the difference is really small because almost all of your power is going to be coming from the Anima powers, and whatever you can get from here, it's like it makes such a minuscule difference that honestly, like, just go with whatever you're comfortable with, right? I'm still going to show you what I use here, but like if you're Necrolord, that's totally fine. If you don't have the right conduits, that's totally okay. Just kind of go with what you have. And it's gonna be fine because you're still gonna be strong as long as you get the right Anima powers. But yeah, I'm gonna cover what we have anyways. So in terms of talents, Schism is pretty good, just a bit more damage. Body and Soul is great for moving faster. We're gonna take Solace here actually. Psychic Voice is really good. These other ones are kind of useless, but basically it's a lot of powers that interact with Psychic Screen, and lowering the cooldown by half is huge. This one, basically these three, we don't want any healing. Spiritual Evang are useless because we're not healing ourselves. We're going in there as basically a damage dealer, except all the mobs have less HP. So this is the build right here. And yeah, in terms of like I'm Ventier, I'm using really I'm never gonna cast Radiance, right? But I'm still gonna use this Conduit because I'm not gonna use up my Conduit energy that changes back and forth for Torghast. So run what you want. Like Shadow Perception is good, Swift Penitence is good. Yeah, whatever you have lying around. Legendary, once again, I'm not gonna be casting Rapture. It's a 235, so that's good. Just whatever eye level you have lying around. Okay, next, so we covered that these kind of build stuff is not important, but so what's actually important? Anima powers. Gonna split these up into a couple sections and run through these real quick with you guys. So there are a couple Anima powers that are just incredibly overpowered for this priest. These are powers where I would say if you're able to pick them up, you always get them, and if you get them, it can almost make the run basically auto success just from that alone. So the powers, the first couple power is Volatile Phantasm, and you can combo this with Fragments of Obscurity, but it's not mandatory. Like they're great to have, but just the Volatile Phantasm is enough. What this does is basically each time you use Fade, leaves behind an image here, and what the image does is it taunts everything around it, right? So everyone's forced to attack it, and after a couple seconds it explodes and does a ton of damage to everyone around it. But the important thing to know is that basically once you get Wild-Type Phantasm, and you know however many fragments of obscurity you can get, you just press Fade on cooldown, and it basically makes you invincible, because the moment you click Fade, it just drops all your threat. They're all hitting the target, and you can start damaging them, and they won't damage you back. And also, it happens to be doing a ton of damage right now. So like you put it down, and like it'll probably just nuke the whole pack that you're fighting anyways. The next OP power is Catharstic. So Catharstic, when you first see it, it doesn't seem like much, but how Torghast works is like the enemies are hitting you for a lot of damage, right? They do a lot of damage to you, and being able to reflect damage you take lets you output a huge amount of damage with just this one ability alone, right? Like generally you want to build really tanky in Torghast, right? So you have a lot of HP and you're getting chunked down and you're kind of healing yourself and shielding yourself, and then you hit your Purge the Wicked or Shadow Word Pain, and it just one-shots enemies. This Anima power combos really well with Red Hot Mind Pokers. Once again, not mandatory with it. The main thing is Catharstic, but great to have this if you can get some. I have had runs where, yeah, with just a couple Catharstics, and they're just blues, right? So this one's a lot easier to get than the Phantasm, but you'll probably get this if you look for it, right? So with just a couple Catharstics, right, I was able to hit Twisting Quarters, last boss, for like 5 million or something, and then I just did it 3 times and it's just dead. It's ridiculously overpowered. Okay, next section we're gonna cover is Anima powers that are not OP, not gonna win you the run, by itself, but extremely powerful. And these are the ones where you're gonna be trying to get, right? None of them are epics or anything. They're just usually commons and uncommons, and this is literally what's gonna be carrying your run. So the most important really good Anima powers are these ones here: Life Barrier, Oblarn Endurance, Thick Burlap Sash, Secret Spices, etc., etc. You get the idea. Basically, we want to stack HP and defensives, right? We want to live. So, the end goal of Torghast is to survive to the last boss and kill the boss, and we do that by being tanky, right? Like you can do all the damage. You have all these random abilities that give you tons of damage and mobility and utility, but if you're gonna die, then it's not gonna help you out. And the mobs in Torghast, they hit really, really hard, especially as you get to the later layers. That you're gonna want a ton of HP, right? So if you see like Oblarn Endurance, it's such a basic ability and people think it's lame, and yet it is boring, but if you see this, it's great. You gotta pick it up. Life Barrier, of course, combos really well with all the HP you're stacking, right? So you stack a ton of HP, you get as many Life Barriers as you can. Once again, these are all just commons, right? So it's really easy to get multiples of them, and you just shoot yourself on cooldown, and it heals you for like huge amounts. And basically, you just don't die if you get enough of these defensive abilities. The next set of Anima powers we're going to cover are offensive ones. Of course, we can't only just survive, because we're never going to kill the last boss. We're never going to kill the enemy. It's going to take hours to finish Torghast, and that's going to suck. But we're not going to be going for conventional damage abilities, right? The only ones that we really want, that we're going to look for, are things that have a proc chance to do damage, right? So things like Corruption Antenna, Finger of Frozen Fury, Potent Acid Gland. There's a whole bunch, right? And you see them as they come up. Basically anything that has, you have a chance to deal X damage or whatever, right? Or some things have a chance to trigger damage. The reason these are so powerful is that they deal a percentage of spell damage as damage, and this priest have good int, right? Good spell damage, same as anybody else, right? Same as Shadow Priest, but they don't have good multipliers on their abilities, right? Just because healers are not meant to do damage, right? Like your penance, your smite and stuff, Power of Solace, like you're not supposed to go into a dungeon and do like 5k DPS, right? Because you're a healer, which is fair. But these Anima powers just scale the same for everybody, right? So as a Shadow Priest, you're going to be doing the same damage with Corruption Antenna as a Disc Priest, The difference being that, of course, the enemies when you're playing this priest, they have like what, huge like reduction in HP. So these abilities like Corruption 10 and Finger of Frozen Fairy, they just go in and they just smash the packs. Like, it makes it so fast, and you get a couple of these and you should be set for damage, and then once again you're just stacking all the HP just to live, and yeah, just get through the levels. There are two anima powers that I want to mention as kind of special cases. One of them is Purifier's Flame in Mortrigar, and the other one is Flame Starved Cinders in the Soul Forges. So these ones, they come from the Ravenous Anima Cells, where you buy from the brokers. You buy the 250 Phantasma for like the orange orb, and you can use it on enemies inside of specific floors, and you get an ability that matches, you know, that section. So Purifier's Flame comes from Mortrigar, and it lets you, yeah, basically ignore half the mob's abilities, which is when they die, they leave the pool, and then you can now stand in those pools to heal instead of taking damage, which is just massive. And the other one, Soul Forges, the Flame Starved Cinders drops in Soul Forges, and it reduces the fire damage you take, which includes the ticking max HP damage from the actual floor itself. And basically all the enemies in the Soul Forges like just deal fire damage anyways. These two, if you happen to come into these sections, Mortrigar and Soul Forges, I highly recommend you try to pick up a random Anima Cell on floor 3. Get this ability, and it'll make the whole run so much easier. Okay, on to the next section of anima powers that we don't want, the traps. So any anima power that gives you a talent is not something you want as disc. Just because logically, like, all your talents, like, they're all healing, right? They all just heal because we're playing a healer class. So it's not really what we want, because we're not going to be healing ourselves that much. So all the talent anima powers are basically useless to us. The other one is things that buff your specific spells damage, right? Anything that like makes like Shadow Word Death stronger, or makes Mind Blast stronger. These are not good because they skill off of your base spells of, you know, Mind Blast, Shadow Word Death, which kind of suck, right? As a healer, your Mind Blast just does very little damage. 1704 damage, that's with, you know, I have a pretty high level and it's doing so little damage. Compared to what I mentioned earlier is like the on-proc effects, which hit for so much damage compared to this. Like, if you look at the final breakdown of damage, like, none of it is going to be your basic spells. Like, you may think it's cool to, oh, you can stack up the Shadow Word Death to do like 100 times the regular damage it does, but even then it's not going to be hitting very hard. Yeah, it's just not worth it to buff your base abilities. So to summarize, we're going to be playing Discipline. We're going to go with whatever build you're comfortable in terms of you know, Lego, talents, Covenant, everything. Just go whatever you have lying around, whatever you feel comfortable with. And these are the powers that are super OP that you always want no matter what. If you can't get these are the really good powers. And these are the powers that are good in special cases, only for Mortrigar and Soul Forges. And these are the powers that you just want to skip. You don't want to get these. Alright, so we have all the information we need, right? We have all the knowledge. Now let's see it in action. So we're in working Torghast. We're in layer 8. This is the upper reaches. We got our first power here. These are both kind of crappy. One of them heals you, one of them, you know, mind games when people hit you. That's alright, I guess. Make sure you keep fortitude up. You know, you can give yourself speed with body and soul just to make things a bit faster. And yeah, so look at this. Floor 1, right? It's only floor 1, but this guy has only 4,700 HP. Literally just one-shot him with the mind games. Yeah, like, it's the mobs are quick, right? And you can just run around. See some stuff here, these guys. We're gonna just dot everything up with Catharstic and, you know, whittle them down. Just their basic abilities. Yeah, honestly, like it's gone quick. Like, you kill these things pretty quickly. If you ever get low, like you're a healer, so you heal yourself up, right? Like, not doing that much damage to us. Okay, and Anima Pyro here. So, okay, we got really lucky here. Cathartic. Like I said, this is one of the OP powers that you're always gonna pick when you see it. And yeah, this power is gonna carry us. So I got really lucky getting down for one here. Let me see if I can show you how it works and the power of it. So once again, all you do is like just dot things up. Like 5,000 HP, they almost die just from one Purge the Wicked that just slowly ticks through. You can power up, use yourself, make things a bit faster. But, you know, you're fighting things, you're taking damage. Oh. And basically every time you cast, take a lot of damage and you cast Purge the Wicked. Okay, well I didn't get to show it off here. But yeah, next enemy we see. Yeah, and then next time it's gonna hit for 2,300, which is quite a lot, and I haven't taken damage. I haven't taken that much damage so far. Like sometimes when you pull a bigger pack, you take so much damage and you just reflect it right back on them. So a note here, if you're having trouble with Torghast, and I figure if you're looking at a guide here, that's exactly what's going on. I recommend that you clear everything, right? Like take your time. It's gonna be slower, but every single enemy you kill gives you Phantasma, which gives you more items of the shop laterwards, and that's us all valuable, right? Like it's gonna make it a bit easier to succeed. And it's not too big of a deal. Using Power Fusion here because I think I feel like I can pull a little big. Feared. Look at that! I just one-shot that guy with Cathartic. And you see, like, you can always fall back to your healing, so you pull a big pack, and like I didn't feel like I was in any danger there at all. But yeah, clear everything. Right, it's really important to pick up these soul remnants. Right, it might not seem a lot, but once you get like 10, 20, 30 of these things, it makes a big difference, right? Like just raw int, it increases all of your damage, so not just individual skills, which is great, and also increases all your healing, all your defenses. Just overall makes you way stronger. See how big of a pack we can pull here. Just dot everything up. So we can probably pull these guys too, honestly. Heal a little bit. When you get a big pack, you can just Mind Sear it. See our DPS shoots up to 5k, which is pretty damn good for a healer. And yeah, once again, even if you're doing this much damage, also on your shadow, it's not the same because the HP of these things are just reduced by so much whenever you play healer. This guy over here is just shooting me. Yeah, make sure we kill every single enemy. Get a bunch of Phantasma. 139 already, so it's already enough to buy, almost enough to buy item from the shop. And we move on. Make sure to pick up every single Bound Soul Remnant. Huge. It's already 3% now. Just pull these guys up. It's kind of a small pack, so I want to pull more to get through it faster. Pretty big pack here, but just start using Mind Sear. Try to aggro them all. Maybe we can pull this one. It might be a little too aggressive here, but yeah, let's see. Throw that a barrier. Alright, so we are dying. One really bad thing about playing disc, the only issue is that you don't have any interrupts. Yeah, you have your fear, that's all you got, so you gotta use it wisely. So once again, anytime you fall in danger, you can always heal up. Oh, not when this happens. It's a little scary. Yeah, obviously I have a lot of gear here, so it makes me a lot tankier and do a lot of damage faster. If you... okay, I died anyways. If you don't have as much gear as me, just take it slowly, right? You don't have to pull, like, that was like 4 packs all at once. Obviously don't do that. Just pull what you can. There's like multiple elites in there as well. And we still almost had it. I think if I played that a bit better, I would have been fine actually. Let's move on to the gatekeeper. Make sure you always get these guys, right? The helpers, the chests, and everything. Those are, you know, really easy anima that you always want to pick up. Haste is okay, I guess. Both those were kind of shitty powers, so it doesn't really matter which ones I pick.
I must get closer.
Yeah, I see this. We only have 5 powers. None of them really give us damage or anything. Something like his haste, I guess, is pretty good. But we're able to just, you know, chunk this boss down real quick with just our base abilities. And as we get higher and higher in floors, it's going to be carried by, you know, the proc effects that we get. Take this one. There you have it. I mean, rinse and repeat for the next couple floors. It doesn't really get much different because while the enemies do get stronger, you get more and more anima powers to make up for it, as long as you make sure you're actually getting all the anima powers every floor. And let's see what we got. This little thing here, it shows you a boss is going to be coming up, but honestly, like, I don't even know what they're. This one, I don't even know what he is, but like, they all kind of act the same-ish, so yeah. Don't worry too much about it. I have this 5 cost anima cell here. You always buy it if you have this. If you don't, you probably need to get more Venari rep to unlock this. I got 479 Phantasma. I don't have any Phantasma powers. This is just what I've gotten from picking up everything, basically every pot and every enemy from the first 2 floors. So, looking at what we got in the shop, this is not Mordragar, not Soul Forgers. So, don't necessarily want this Ravenous Anima Cell. There are some other good choices, but 250 is kind of expensive for it. Life Barrier is insane. We want this for sure. These other ones, yeah, see, none of them are on the list, right? None of them give us more survivability. This one kind of does, but not directly. Yeah, no survivability, no damage from procs, so we're just gonna skip all that, and we'll just pick up these random ones. And let's see what we get from these random ones. Wow, really crappy. We're never gonna cast mind control, so we don't want that. Alright, harness, since we don't want any talents, because since the many. Okay, alright, harness is alright actually. Put it here. Haste by 6%. Okay, alright, harness. You know, just let us run a little faster around. So that's it, I guess. Keep freeing up all these ghosts. And let's see what we get at the end here. And let's proceed on to the next floor. Oh my god, I didn't see that trap there. Yeah, I'll take the fade cooldown, I guess. Alright, let's keep moving on. Okay, so here we are at the last boss. 300 HP for layer 8, not that bad. Look at my powers, I don't have that many. I have 51 HP, which is pretty good. Could be better, but not bad. I mean, I have some HP increase abilities, some defensives. This one's pretty good as well, magic damage reduced. I got really lucky in that I got 2 Catharstics. I'm going to show you, just how much damage this can do here. And I did get Volatile Phantasm. So all of the OP stuff that I talked about, I got. The only thing that I'm missing, I got 1 Life Bearer as well. So 3 defensives, not bad, and all the OP ones. What I'm missing here is any kind of on proc damage. So my average damage is going to be really low for this fight, unfortunately. But yeah, because of the Phantasms, we're just going to be basically immortal. So you see here, we'll just drop a Phantasm. He's hitting it. Eventually it's going to explode, do a good amount of damage, we'll kill these things. And look, by the time he kills it, we literally have it up again, right? So I have this Fragments of Obscurity, which is the cooldown. These are just commons, right? So if you ever do end up with, what's it called? The Volatile Phantasms, yeah, you almost always get the other abilities too. And basically you're just invincible, like nothing can kill you, right? So you keep healing yourself up. I'm killing this very slow because like I said, I didn't get any of the on-proc damage effects, unfortunately. But what you can do here is see, I'm taking damage, like 28,000. So like the more you're hit, the more damage you do. And that's all Cathartic, right? So that's what makes you do, like, able to actually kill this thing at all. Because otherwise, without that, eventually unnatural power is gonna start climbing up, and then it's gonna cause some issues. And you can see, like, he's hitting hard, right? He's hitting for, like, yeah, 6,000 per hit. But because I have so much HP, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna survive it, right? Each hit is not gonna be that bad. Kill these orbs. See how big we can stack up this Cathartic. Just use our abilities. Slowly whittle him down. I would like to line up with the Schism, because obviously if you amplify the damage, it's gonna be way more. Alright, here we go. So the Schisms, and 49k, 50k hit from that Cathartic there. And there you go, he's down. Collect your Soul Ash, build your legendaries, get out of here and have a good time. So there you have it. That's Torghast as a priest. I mean, Torghast, I really don't want it to be a chore for anybody, right? I don't want it to gate anybody, because your legendary is so important, right? It's going to be the strongest piece of gear, highest eye level that you're going to have, and it's going to have really powerful effect along with it. And if you ever do different kinds of content like I do, or if you play like different specs even, you're going to need a lot of legendaries. You're going to need multiple legendaries, and you're going to have to run Torghast, a whole bunch. So I hope I make it easier for you by watching this by video and learning how to progress through it easier. If you want to see any full runs, I do have them up in my channel. I have some for layer 8, layer 6, even for Twisting Corridors, layer 8. So check those out if you want to see how this build plays out and how my stuff works, and see for yourself if you like it or not. And let me know how it goes for you, and hopefully this video has helped you enjoy Torghast a bit more. Alright, thanks for watching, see you next time, bye.